Hi, and welcome to Write with Alex. Today I'm going to talk about writing style. And no, I don't mean vocabulary or writer's voice. I mean something that is even more important, and that is how and where do you write and what works best for you. And I'm going to give you some tips and tools for how to find this out for yourself. So let's get started. There are tons of advice out there about writing style, and there are a lot of people who are telling you exactly what you should do and talking about it as if there is one right way to do this. Some of the most common advice I've heard is that you should write every day, or that you should take advantage of every single moment you get to write, even if it's just 5 minutes or whatever. And these advices work great for some people and definitely not for all people. Both of these do not work great for me, and I have found different strategies and different ways of approaching writing that works better for me. And my hope with this video is that you get some tools to figure out what works for you. Today I'm going to talk about 3 points. The first one is how much do you want to prepare? Second one is how long do you want to write? And the third one is what motivates you. For this video I have used a book by Helen Sword as inspiration. It's called Air and Light and Time and Space, and this is a book about academic writing. She has interviewed many academic writers about their writing process, and she writes really beautiful about this, and I highly recommend reading it because I think that you can basically take everything that she writes about and directly translate it to creative writing. So some of the visualizations and categories that she proposes in our book is something that I use myself to think about my writing practice, and I think it's something that will be useful to you as well. So the first one is how much do you want to plan? And there is 2 categories that are very frequently used when talking about writing style, and that is something called pantsing and planning. And planning, of course, is just that you plan your novel before you write it. And you can do this to varying degrees. And pantsing is a word that comes from writing at the seat of your pants, so writing without any plan. There's also recently a term called plantser, which is someone that's kind of in between, but I don't see these as like 2 separate categories and you're in one of them. I see it as a scale, so you can be anywhere on this scale. And this is just like how people work different. So I'm very far towards the pantsing end of the scale. I'm going to read you a quote from Helen's books, which I think beautifully illustrates this process.
It takes most writers a long time, whether at the front end of the writing process, at the back end, or both, to produce high quality work. Apprentice writers may regard the enormous effort involved as a symptom of their own inadequacy. Experienced writers, on the other hand, understands that messiness and frustration comes with the territory.
And I think this quote is really beautiful because it both speaks to these different types of practices, but it also speaks to the kind of the behind the scenes, that when you're starting out writing you may think that other people are doing it effortlessly, but they are not. Everyone is putting in a lot of work, and finding out whether you're a planner or a pantser and also where you want to be on that scale can really be helpful for how you plan and write a novel. Keep in mind what works for you, and for those of you who are pantsing a novel, that does require more editing in the end, and that is why I am trying to move towards more planning so that I don't have to write as many drafts after the first one. If you are just starting out writing, I think you should just embrace whatever path you are on right now. There are also different methods of outlining a novel depending on what writing style you choose, and I'm going to make a video about that later that you can check out. So the second point is how long do you want to write, and Helen introduces 2 different categories that I think are really good at explaining these different styles. And the first one is binge or snack writing, where binge writing is that you write for a long time at a time. So maybe you sit down for 30 minutes or an hour or something, snack writing is more writing like 5, 10, 15 minutes. The one I mentioned in the top of the episode, just to find any time you have to write and write that way. And I think just find what works for you and embrace that, because I am very much a binge writer. When I write a scene, I get so into the emotions of the scene. So for me to just write 10-15 minutes, it doesn't work because then I can't immerse myself in the scene fully. So now I know that, and I plan my writing time accordingly. So if I only have 15 minutes, I will not start writing. I will make sure that I have longer time. And of course, this is not only about like what you decide your life may require you to do one style or the other, but I encourage you to try to find which one is for you. And the second one is sprint or marathon, and that is similar. So a marathon would be like writing every day and keep going all the time, but maybe at a slower pace. And sprint is writing for a shorter period of time, but more intensely. And I'm also a sprint writer. I write a new book draft every November, and usually one in July as well. And then I have off periods where I either don't write at all or write a lot less. And all of these methods are great. Like, there is not one that is better than the other. The only one that is best is the one that works for you. And the third point is what motivates you. And I think you can look at this at a larger scale, like, why do you want to write? So why is this important to you? And I think that is really important to keep in mind while writing. Another set of categories that you can use is the very well-known carrots and sticks. So do you need some kind of motivation to write? Maybe like, oh, when I finish this draft, this is the reward I will get. Or if you need to more like force yourself, I guess. And the second part about what motivates you is also if you are one who likes to share your writing or not. And I think if you want to publish a book, of course, you have to share it with people at some stage. And I encourage people to not share a lot when they are writing the first draft, because that is, you often invite a critical eye when you do that, and that can hinder your process. But I also think it's important to know if you are one of those people who like sharing what they write. I'm one of those, I love it. Or if you're one who would rather not. Because if you do like sharing it, then I think you should use that as a motivation as well. If you send it to someone and they're like, oh yeah, go ahead, it's great. That sounds very ironic. But like, I think if you send it to a friend or family, they're just gonna tell you that it's great, hopefully. They will not be your best critique partners. And that is okay. But just sometimes that's what you need to keep going. And if you don't want to share, then don't share. Like, you can just keep writing. And if you never want to share what you write, that's also okay. I think the most important part about writing is that it's something for yourself. It's a process. It's a way to put words into your experience in this life. And I think that's it's so beautiful. And it's like the core of writing. It's definitely the core of why I write. And I hope that it's something that is in the core of other people when they are writing as well. So that was all 3 points. How much do you want to plan before you start writing? How long do you want to write? And what motivates you? And I hope that you will have some time to figure out what works for you. And don't listen to other people. Do what works for you in your life. And this doesn't have to be the same forever. You can find out that, oh, I used to be this way, but now this one works better for me, it fits better into my life. And the only right way is the one that works for you. If you like this video, please check out my other ones about how to start writing and how to start a writing practice. Thank you for finding out what works for you. I think that is the key to finding a fun and sustainable writing practice. Take care and happy writing.